How's it going, everyone? Today I will be finally showcasing my current deck profile for my Shaddoll deck. This will be for the March 2021 ban list, and I finally got to play this at my locals this last Saturday, and I actually went undefeated, so that's pretty cool. My locals is kind of smaller, at least on the weekends. It's like 8 to 10 people, so we just did 3 rounds, and my matchups was Zombie, Burning Abyss, OTK 60 card deck, and I didn't really know what he was doing, but I kind of just hand trapped him and summoned Winda, and that won. Round 2 was a Zodiac Eldritch, and I won that one 2-0. Basically, Cosmic Cyclone was too strong. And then round 3, I played against Phantom Knights, and same thing, Cosmic Cyclone in the side deck was just too strong. And then summoning Winda is just pretty good, and I opened Riliona probably like almost every game, if not like more than half of every game that I played. So without further ado, I'll kind of go through the profile and give some of my explanations on why I maybe play certain things. This you could consider as maybe a more budget-friendly build for Shaddolls, but overall this is what I'm playing, it's what I enjoy play, so let's get on with the video. So to start out, I'm playing the 3 Riliona. This searches basically either a fusion or a monster reborn for her. Her herself can be a 1-card Anaconda with this. I like just running one of each. I've been opening it a lot, and when you open it, it's pretty good. It's also a light target for Construct, and I like it better than running Alistair with the Invoked Engine. For the Shaddolls, I'm playing 3 Squamata, 3 Wendy, 2 Hedgehog, 2 Ariel, 1 Beast, and 1 Dragon. I was running Falco before in my older build, probably from my Shaddoll combo, and I just felt like I'm mainly losing to Nibiru when I'm playing Shaddolls. So I feel like if I'm playing around Nibiru, I'm keeping and gaining more advantage longer, and then that's putting me ahead of my opponent. And I felt like whenever I had Falco, I either had a window on field or it would conflict with me summoning the 4 to 5 times. And so I just decided to cut it, and I didn't really miss it. I never really saw Dragon, but Dragon's just good for versatility. And I think everything else is great. Some people are running 1 Hedgehog. I like having 2 because if you open one, you still have 1 in the deck. And opening 1's not bad because then you can follow up with a Squamata in hand for an El Shaddoll during your opponent's turn. So that's like a pretty standard Shaddoll lineup. And then I'm running Dragoon in my deck, so you just got the standard Dragoon package. And then for hand traps, I know the trap build has been like the most popular thing on YouTube, and a lot of people are just trying to net deck the heck out of that. I'm more of wanting to play combo-ish, but I can also play more reactive, and I feel like if I'm trying to go first or second, then hand traps are going to be just that much better. So I'm running 3 Ash, and then I'm running the 2 Nibiru, and then the Gamma package. So the philosophy behind this was beforehand I was running Mathematician, like 1 to 2 with just a Clown and then Foolish Burial. They're basically in there to either give me a Shaddoll or a Light Monster. Most of the time you'll have a Shaddoll in hand, and it's better to have the light target in hand so that way you can just immediately play versus trying to get your play started. So I just decided to cut them and just put the lights directly in the deck, as well as have them as hand traps if I was going second. And overall it went really well. Nibiru was really good. I think I like it at 2. 3 would be good like for 1 in the side, but I only have 2. This is a 41 card deck, so space is just kind of tight, but overall this ratio worked out really well. Now for the main spells, I'm running 2 Shaddoll Fusion and 3 El Shaddoll Fusion. Last format, people were cutting this down to 1, and I feel like that was just kind of blasphemy for my style of play. Nowadays, people are doing like 1 El Shaddoll, which I think is just that much worse. I think this is a good ratio. I don't think you'd want to cut it down any more than this. I side the 3rd Shaddoll Fusion for when I know I'm going second. And if I'm playing against something that's going to establish a board where I know I could use a Shaddoll Fusion. El Shaddoll Fusion I like a lot more than Shaddoll Fusion just because you can't Ash it, as well as using it to set during your opponent's turn and then flipping it to summon Window with either the Squamata that you have in hand or whatever other Shaddoll, and then normally you have a Gravity Controller on board. And so that's normally what I'm using to summon Winda, and they can't Cosmic Cyclone it. It's almost always going to go through, and I like this ratio. It's just, I like playing more reactive as well as being able to combo, and the quick play gets you there. So as part of being reactive, 3 super poly, there's really nothing your opponent can do about this, and a lot of people are playing a variant of Shaddolls, whether it be traps, invoked, dogmatica, whatever it may be. This is almost always going to be live. So this should be standard, self-explanatory. I used to only play like 1 or 2 just because I hated seeing it, but just setting it and then having a Shaddoll face down is just so powerful, especially if you have a Shaddoll face down in the gravity controller. Then you can just summon Winda, and then you still have the super poly live as long as you have 1 card in hand, and it's just overall really great. So for the traps, I'm running Schism, probably the best trap in the game right now. 1 Incarnation. I don't think you need more than 1. If you open it, it's fine because then you can just use it to cycle that game, as well as you can do the combo. If you know your opponent's not playing Nibiru, then that's when I normally do the combo. But almost every time I think that they don't have it, they do. So I don't use it for the combo as often as I need to. I'm running the 1 core. I feel like this is just a survive longer card. If I find myself in a pickle, core is just getting me there. It'd probably be the 1 card that I cut down to 40 if I needed to, but I always feel like I end up missing it when I don't have it. And then for the spice of the day, I'm running Treacherous Trap Hole. Every time I see it, it's live because either this one's banished, someone's already banished this, or you're adding it back from grave. And then the same thing with core. It's either in your hand or it's still in the deck. Almost all the time, none of these are in your grave. So whenever you see this, either opening or mid-game, you can set it and it'll be active. It's reactionary, if that's a correct term, where I can activate it basically whenever I want, and it doesn't target. It just destroys 2 monsters on the field. So I think that this is just better than Torrential and running a bunch of other situational traps. So this is basically the 41st card, and every time I see it, it was great. For the extra deck, I'm running 3 El Shaddoll Construct. This should be pretty standard. I tried doing 2, and I just felt like long term, you got to run the 3, especially for not having like the Invoked Engine or Dogmatic Engine. I just feel like Construct is your main battle damage win condition of you controlling the game. And then to just stop your opponent from playing as a win condition, Winda is basically your secondary option. I shouldn't have to explain Winda. Nobody likes playing against Winda, and she's the second best. I'm running 1 Apgalone. I feel like you could probably run 2 in the deck. There's 1 card that I'd probably like maybe swap out that I didn't really use all that much, but 1 seemed to be fine. I only used it, I think, 1 time this weekend. But overall, it's just a good card to float into and go into. For the last Shaddoll extract monster, I'm running Shek. She's only in here for basically super poly as an earth target. You could make her with core, but it's not like super needed. And just overall is just an earth target. And then the last fusion is basically Dragoon. So for the link monsters, I run 1 Anaconda for Dragoon, and then you could send any of the other fusions. So I feel like that's kind of a staple to play in the deck. I'm running Artemis just because you can normal summon any of your Shaddolls, and then it gets you your light target, as well as it can make you the 1 card Anaconda Dragoon. Gravity Controller, I've been against this for so long just because I didn't like wasting my Construct, but I would rather use up Construct and avoid Nibiru and then continue playing the next turn with more cards in my hand and more cards on my field. And so Gravity Controller's been really great. Running 1 IP, and IP is basically there for either Nightmare Unicorn or Avermax. So before this was an Appaloosa, but a lot of the times I find myself being able to do IP with Predaplant and Dragoon or whatever I end up fusioning. And this is really good, but if you end up getting a Winda on board and summoning this, then it's really hard to get around. And so that's what I like doing, unless they like super poly you or something. But I put this in. I didn't summon hardly any of these link monsters this weekend. It was mainly like Winda, Dragoon, and then Cosmic Cyclone just like stopped a lot of the traps. So I like this, but you could probably take this out for another card. And then I put in 1 Lambda. I didn't end up making it at all. It's kind of, these are mainly the 2 free slots in the deck. A lot of people probably wonder why I'm not playing Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep just kind of plays into Nibiru, and I didn't miss it at all, and I thought I would. I also am not playing the Shaddoll Construct Link. I just didn't feel like I ever needed it. If I was going into it, I was probably losing at that point anyway. And then if you're interested in the side, I kind of just threw it together while I was there. But the main cards I would probably do is just the one Shaddoll fusion, just in case you're playing against something like Super Rogue, or like I sided it in against the Zodiac matchup when I knew I was going second, and I opened one, and he ended up popping his monster, and then I was able to just make window with the cards in my hand, and then proceed to just gain all the advantage there anyway. So Shaddoll fusion is just good. You don't want to not open fusions. And then for the MVP of the day, it was definitely Cosmic Cyclone, and then the one Feather Duster. Game 2 against Zodiac, I basically opened one of these, and then the Feather Duster, and I went to activate Feather Duster with his 2 set, and then he had, I think it's Imperial Order, the one that negates spells, and I basically chained Cosmic Cyclone to it, and then I proceeded to win basically from there. And then against Phantom Knights, it was basically the same thing. Like Cosmic Cyclone against his Fog Blade was basically how I got around everything. And then 3 Lancia, I never had to side it in, didn't really need it, but it's just a good all-around card. And then these are kind of just like the whatever cards. I put in 3 Forbidden Chalice just because I didn't bring a Kaiju, but also I felt like this was just a decent option. I don't have like droplets or anything. I don't have any super expensive new format stuff. So 3 Chalice was just kind of in there in case someone was playing something that I couldn't really get around. I threw in 1 Crow because I needed just 1 extra spot. And then I was running 3 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre I felt like is pretty decent when you know someone's just link climbing into something. And it's also a light target, so I wanted to maybe substitute a hand trap that would still give me the light target as well as slow down my opponent from trying to build into something bigger. And I sided it in, I just never saw it, but I didn't really need it. So that's basically the deck. If you guys have any questions, I can do a combo video or do a more maybe like in-depth talk about it. I just kind of wanted to do a shorter video, not only like showing the deck itself, but also talking about why I do certain things. And this is definitely on the more budget option. I'm not a fan of Alistair, and really Leon is a cool light target that does a similar thing. It just gets me the fusion, and I like using it for my Shaddoll fusions. And then I don't have any of the Dogmatica cards. And if I'm playing a trap variant of Shaddolls, I would rather just play Trap Tricks, and I feel like that gives me just as much advantage as I need. So I wouldn't consider this like control or combo. I'd say it can go either or. It can go first or second, and both of them work. I normally choose just to go first just because summoning Winda with whatever else on field is just super great. And if you choose to go second, you have plenty of things in your side and in your arsenal to be reactive against your opponent, including your hand traps. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Hey, bonus time. If you stayed until the end of the video, you'll get to watch me open my 3 packs from winning locals. So it's been a while since I've actually won undefeated locals. So it was a pretty fun experience, even though there wasn't that many people there, especially with the deck that I just kind of came up with. So got this Skull Serpent Ojama Pink. So I don't really know what's in here. I know the new pot is, and then the Link 5, and then I think that's like the only thing really worth in here. And I'm not a pack opening channel, so I'm more of a cosmetic, I guess, talking about different cosmetic channel, maybe deck profiles every once in a while, and just kind of like talk about what I'm doing, not necessarily like the entire state of the game. I do have a Ghost of the Past pre-order, so I can do like maybe an unboxing of that just because that's going to be like really hyped. So, oh, well, I got a secret rare. That's cool. S-Force, Rappa, Chiomara. So I don't know what she's worth, but I pulled a secret rare. It's not a pot of Duality 2.0, but pretty cool. So anyway, that was the bonus part of the video. I'll talk to you guys later.